Hello everyone and welcome to the first round of the IHSA football playoffs. We have a nice matchup here between the York Dukes and the Edwardsville Tigers. I'm Christian McQuade, alongside me Connor Choi and Luca DeSanto. We are going to go through the pregame show here as Edwardsville and York were matching off. Connor, tell us a little bit about both teams. What do you expect here out of the Tigers and what do you expect here out of the Dukes?
Well, yeah, this is the second matchup between these two teams ever, and this is the second year in a row they've faced off. Last year, York defeated Edwardsville in the third round to head to the Final Four. This time they match up in the first round here in Elmhurst for the second straight year. The Tigers come in at 6-3. Their three losses are to East St. Louis, the #1 team in the state, as well as to a top Missouri team and a top Indiana team. So they've had a really hard schedule, but they've been competitive in almost every one of their games. And it'll be interesting to see how this three-loss team fares in the playoffs. As for the Dukes, they come in at 7-2. The biggest question is, can they hang with a team with a winning record? They have not beaten a team above 500. That'll be the biggest question tonight. How will the Dukes fare against a strong opponent like Edwardsville?
And Luca, who are some guys on both of these teams that you're looking out for tonight?
Yeah, I mean, for the Dukes, I was really impressed with Jack Birnbaum last week. I know York doesn't usually like to play their tight ends, but I really liked the way he was utilized last week against Proviso West. Very solid performance. Now, for Edwardsville, I'm definitely looking at Epenzo, who we will be seeing this entire game. We're talking a 6'2" build, NFL ready, #8 prospect in the state. I mean, absolutely incredible tangibles for that kid.
On top of that, he plays both ways, so dude is just an absolute menace on the field. Connor, who are you looking at for York and Edwardsville?
Yeah, for Edwardsville, on staying on the same side of the ball, I'm looking at Clayton Lakados. He's the 3-star safety with offers from Iowa State and University of Illinois. He's got 17 solo tackles on the season and really just kind of all over the place, but nothing gets by him in the secondary, and it's going to be really hard for the Dukes to throw the ball deep, something that we've seen Bruno Massel do a lot, especially on these third and long plays. As for York, like Luca mentioned, I'm looking at that offensive line tonight. It'll be really hard to match up against these big linebackers as well as Epinesa, so we'll see how they do tonight.
All right, we're going to step aside for the national anthem. After this, we have some picks coming up. Don't go anywhere. You're watching York Sports Network. Hello everyone and welcome back from the short break. Now we're going to go over score predictions for this matchup. Let's start with you, Luca. Who do you got in this game and by how much?
Yeah, I'm going to go with with Edwardsville here. Tigers winning 17-10 here. I do feel like it's going to be a bit lower scoring of a game. This is a defense versus defense matchup, but ultimately I have the Tigers winning.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to pick the York Dukes to defeat the Edwardsville Tigers in the first round with a final score of 10-7. I really think offense will be hard to come by this game. These are two offenses that have struggled at times, and it's been evident that the defense comes first. This is, like you said, Luca, defensive first team, and it's really going to show tonight when these two defensive juggernauts go at it, and but I have the Dukes edging out the Tigers 10-7.
Yeah, Connor, Luca, I got the Dukes here 17-13. I think this is going to be, a very cold night. I'm not going to say that the points are going to come by easy, but it should be a pretty defensive battle. I think the points will eventually come, but I got 17-13 York Dukes. And with that, we're going to get to the action. Kickoff next here from Clarence to East Field. You're watching York Sports Network.
Kickoff for Edwardsville, number 41, Hunter Lanning.
Hunter Lanning here to kick this ball game off, and the first round of the IHSA playoffs for the York Dukes last year defeated the Edwardsville Tigers in the Elite 8 game, so definitely coming in here playing with a chip on their shoulder are the Tigers, as this one is off. And playoff football is here. It'll be brought out by Helm. Helm working his way up the middle of the field, now cutting it up the right sideline, makes another jump cut all the way up to the 25, right where he would be if he took a knee, and that's how this one will start.
Tackle made by number 13,
nice return by Fenton Hellman. A really big part of this game is going to be the special teams. It's going to come down to how can you position yourself to pin your opponent deep in their own territory and then get your offense favorable position when they come back out. And not a bad start in the return game for Fenton Helm, bringing it out to the 25.
As Bruno Massel and company trot onto the field, looking to make an early statement. Massel with that brace still on after the past two games. He got hurt, and he's going to take the snap. It's a handoff to Connors. Connors working up the middle. He's going to get a decent gain.
34, Jimmy Connors on the carry for the Dukes.
Jimmy Connors is someone to keep your eye out for. He gets the start today over Henry Duda, who's been the feature back all year long. But I think Connors' strengths play a lot better against this Edwardsville defense than Henry Duda's do. Connors is really hard to bring down, and that'll especially help them out, especially when you look at this really big linebacking core of Noah Ramirez, Javion Smith, Drew Smith, and Landon Holmquist.
So they're going to get the Dukes here on a false start. Absolutely, Connor, this Tigers team does not lack talent. As you were talking, they have a 5-star who's actually committed to Iowa. His brother plays in the NFL at Penenza. He's the guy you want to look out for. He plays both defensive end and tight end. He is the main force on defense, as looks like Reef is out there on the offensive line today, which he's not been playing much this year, but he's out there to guard him tonight.
They're going to have to get bigger if they want to be successful tonight.
Massel calling the audible. Duke's got 3 receivers on the right. On the left, they have 2. It's a quick pass out over the middle to Connors, as he's going to pick up a gain of 5 on the play.
Bruno Massel's pass complete to number 34.
They get the 5 yards back, maybe a extra yard more. So that'll bring up 3rd and short. And those types of passes are really what you're going to need to see from Bruno Massel tonight. I think that's what will really help them move the ball down the field. Those quick slants, curls, whatever, to get the job done, because I do not think that the Dukes will be able to throw a lot of deep balls.
Massel tries to draw them off sides in the hard count. Now calling the audible. 3rd and 5 on the 30-yard line. 10 minutes and 28 seconds remain here early. Massel takes the snap. Fires over the right side. He's got a man, Fenton Helm, with the sideline catch. That's a beautiful grab and should move the chains for a Dukes first down.
Having Fitz and Helm back in this offense is absolutely key. You said it all year long, Christian. He's Bruno Massel's favorite target on third down, and you saw it there. Really not the best throw from Massel as he tried to get rid of it pretty quickly, but Helm just using his athletic build, able to keep his toes on, drag him on the sideline, come down with that catch. That's a key first down to pick up. Biggest thing for this offense will be, can they score in the opening drive?
Massel takes the snap. It's a QB rush up the left sideline. Still on his feet. Moving up the left sideline. Still takes a spin move, and he gets a gain of about 6 on the carry. There's a healthy Bruno Massel run we haven't seen in quite a bit over the past few games, Connor.
Yeah, really nice play design. You see, shout out to Jimmy Connors. He lays the block down, kind of splits the lane open for Bruno Massel, and he's able to pick up an extra probably 2 or 3 yards at the end of the play. Instead of it being a 4-yard rush, it's now a 7-yard rush, and it's 2nd and 3 for the Dukes.
Massel's going to hand it off. Here goes Connors up the middle. He's got the first down, still pushing, and that's going to move the chains. And the Dukes now with 3 first downs in a row, starting to play very confident here early, Connor.
This is not something we've seen, you know, especially against these really good teams with tough defenses like LT in the DGN game. The offense had a really hard time getting going in the beginning of the game, but this is kind of different. They're kind of moving the ball with authority. It's a little bit of a different look to this offense that we haven't seen all year long.
Massel rolling out to his right side, throws it above the middle. He's got a man, Hunter Stepanek, and that looks to be a 9-yard gain, maybe a first down, but I believe it's going to be just short. Bruno Massel now. I love how the Dukes are just moving the ball. Those little quick, easy routes that Downers Grove North really beat them with on the defensive side of the ball. They're trying to turn that into their own offense here, and it's really been working here early.
Well, the tight ends are someone to keep an eye out for. You know they're going to play Stepanek a lot more. He's going to see a lot more snaps because he works as that extra offensive lineman. But don't forget, he can be a viable option in the passing game.
Massel, it's a QB read up the middle. He's still running. He's got the first down. That's going to move the chains once again. Dukes brought the jumbo set there. They had Stepanek line up right behind the right side of the offensive line. And the jumbo package, almost like Penn State, James Franklin's jumbo package that they run over there in Happy Valley.
Well, nice job by Drew Smith getting through the line of scrimmage pretty early. The only problem was he dove a bit too early. He dove at Massel's ankles, and he was able to just evade that. And that's what he's so good. He's so good out of the pocket, able to stay on his feet, able to pick up those extra yards. And in a game like this, every yard matters.
It's another quarterback run. Massel up the right sideline. He's going to go down and get tackled behind the sticks here.
Bruno Massel on the carry, tackle made by
the one thing I don't want to see this offense fall into is relying too much on the run. I still would like to see a healthy mix between running the ball and passing the ball. Something they haven't done all year, but I think they're going to have to do if they want to continue to move the ball down the field all game long. It's really going to come down to, like you said, on that Stepanek play, those short passes, just quickly getting rid of the football. You can't give this defensive line time to get into the pocket, because if they do, chances are you're not going to escape.
Absolutely, Connor. You know, you see that relying on the run game too much has not worked out from this year, as you've mentioned, as Massel's going to hand this one off to Connors, and he's going to push his way up the middle, still on his feet. Still yet to see a carry in from Duda yet, who's then the leading rusher coming into this game. But I do think Jimmy Connors does deserve that start. You know, being the senior and the captain, you need his leadership out there on the field, Connor.
And I think it just comes back to the strengths. I mean, I will say it'll be interesting when they have them both on the field, as Duda's going to come out for Connors right now. But if you have them both at the field, I mean, I think you're going to send Duda in motion a lot and have Connors just, you know, lined up in the traditional halfback position. But when they're both on the field at the same time, Duda's going to line up more in that slot receiver position.
Massel takes the snap, fires out. It's a little screen pass. Here goes Helm up the right sideline. Can he get the first? Still pushing. And I believe he's going to come up a few short, as there's a flag down right where there is a potential hold.
He's driven out of bounds by number 7.
I believe we're going to see a holding call.
Gain of 7 on that passing play from Massel to Helm. Dukes will now have a 4th and 3 with the ball at the Edwardsville 30-yard line.
That is going to move them back. So this should make a 3rd and 20
penalty,
now.
Penalty flag on the play, though. Looks to be a hold. Legal use of hands against the Dukes.
Legal use of hands. Tim Lucas, the crew chief tonight. Tim Lucas, Justin Dimitri, Larry Newberry, Joe Villaneffi, and Dave Bender, the officiating crew in tonight's
Dukes
affair.
will now have a 3rd and 19.
3rd and 19 coming up for the Dukes, and now you're
line.
going to have to air the ball out. This is not the situation you want to be in because it's going to be really hard to air the ball out deep. But now I think they have no choice if they're going to try and pick up the first down.
Massel takes the snap, looking deep. He's going to fire. He's got a man, Finton Helm, who's going to bring
Massel's pass
brought down 10 yards short of the sticks, and I believe,
by number 13, Jaden
although
Cole.
they are kind of in no man's land here, no field goal. Not sure if they're going to punt, but it looks like Massel is going to stay on the field in the offense. This will be a 4th and 13. They're going to keep the offense on the field, Connor.
Well, this is something they've done all year, 4th and 13, so they're going to try and draw them offsides first. If they can't do that, Massel's probably going to call an audible.
There's the offside call that you called that out right there, and now here comes the audible. So Connor, you know, he just knows everything about York football. And Massel now going to move the chains on 4th and 13. He takes the snap, looking over the middle, the field. Now looking to air it out. He's got plenty of time to throw. He's going to launch it over the middle. He's got Kanowski for the first down and plenty more. Massel connects with Kanowski, and that's the biggest play of this ball game thus far.
Well, Edwardsville, in their defensive formation, they tried to play it a little bit safer. They didn't bring as many guys rushing in. There is a flag down, but you take another look at that. Massel rolls out. He's got all kinds of time. This is great blocking from the offensive line.
And the flag's on the field. Sorry to interrupt, but legal man downfield, and that's going to move it back. And here comes the punt team. Wow, Massel, talk about so much time to throw. The offensive line did an outstanding job, but a little too good to be true with the legal man downfield, and Kennedy and the punt team will come on the field to kick this one back to the Tigers.
They don't pick up the first down, which is unfortunate, but this is a very important punt here. Where this Edwardsville offense starts on the field, this is really going to influence how their drive sets up.
Wind really blowing into Kennedy here, and we've seen him struggle with these situations and kicking it too high into the wind. We'll see if he makes an adjustment here, as he'll kick this one pretty high into the air, and it's going to go out of bounds around the 27 to the 30 area. And the Tigers get away with 2 penalties after the Dukes moved the chains a few times. The penalties really shot themselves in the foot there for the Dukes, Connor.
Yes, they did, and now this Tigers offense is going to come onto the field. They're led by their quarterback. It's Yale Weaver, number 8. Weaver's a 6'3", 190-pound junior quarterback, and this is a guy that the coaches all speak very highly of. They said if Jake Curry, the Edwardsville record-setting quarterback who's now at SIU Carbondale, they say if he was not there, Weaver probably starts as a sophomore. He's an accurate passer, but he has had turnover issues. The Dukes are going to need to force a couple turnovers of their own.
And they're going to start here with a false start on Edwardsville. And Connor, you highlighted Curry last year. He was definitely a big weapon for them. I remember announcing that game last year. Curry had a tremendous game. Edwardsville, they're going to get offsides. Excuse me, not a false start. Usually if there's an offsides, they don't call the play dead, which I'm a little confused about. They let it go there. And going back to last year, Connor, you know, the Dukes were down 21-7 at one point. And York came just out of the locker room absolutely electric and came back and won. Edwardsville looking to take this win all the way back as Moore takes this one up the middle. He's got nowhere to go. Connors and Martiri there to blow him up right away.
Comes down to the battle of the trenches. That's another huge key to the game. Angelo Martiri does a good job, wins the first battle, but which team's going to win the war? Right now the Dukes are doing a great job, though.
So Weaver in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to Moore. Once again, he's going up the right sideline. Breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and he's just going to go out of bounds. And Moore showing his explosiveness
Number 24, Stephen Moore Jr. on the carry.
Stephen Moore Jr., the leading rusher, 89 carries, 654 yards, 8 touchdowns, averaged 7 yards a carry. He had 4 games rushing for over 100 yards. He's been a great threat in the backfield for Edwardsville, and the Dukes are really going to have to contain him, and it comes down to that linebacking core: Evan Gaughan, Owen Shale, Mikey Grazzini, and Jimmy Connors.
Now Gavin Yates checking in at running back, and Weaver sends a man in motion. It's going to go right up to Yates, who's going to go up the middle and be stopped at the line of scrimmage by the Dukes front.
Yates, the second running back of this team. He's got 2 touchdowns, also averages 6 yards a carry. So he splits carries with Moore. Those two really the feature backs of this offense. One thing Edwardsville does quite a bit is they shuffle
2nd and 8 now from the
all these sorts of players in and out, and they love their tight ends just like the Dukes do.
All right, so 2nd and 8 on the 44 in Duke's territory. Weaver's going to take the snap. It's another handoff, this time to Moore. He's going to be brought down for a gain of 1. The Dukes have done a great job at stopping that run early.
He's tackled by
now it's going to bring up a 3rd and long situation, Connor. What do you think Edwardsville is going to go to here? Do you think they're going to air it out or stick with the run?
I think now Edwardsville is going to go probably for a short pass, kind of like what we saw at York. Just get a chunk of yards. I mean, I wouldn't mind going to the run, but I would like the option of throwing the ball. And then if they can't get the first down, they're going to go for it on 4th.
So they bring the hard count first. Now the audible from Weaver. And it's going to be another handoff to Yates, who's going to come up short of the sticks, and going to assume Edwardsville is going to keep their offense on the field, but they went with the run after a pretty obvious passing situation as Espinenza and company also checking in number 7, Javion Smith, who also plays linebacker, and he's in the backfield, so maybe some fullback action here, Connor, from Javion Smith.
Javion Smith this season, 5 carries, 15 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's used in these short yard situations like we have right here. They bring out Espinenza. Bigger size in the blocking, but he can also catch the ball too.
And he's just going to plow his way up the middle for the first down.
Stephen Moore Jr. on the carry.
Javion Smith, that's why he's in there, Connor, as you mentioned, almost like an Estime kind of running back from Notre Dame. If you watch his film last year, over the same build as him. All you Notre Dame fans out there know who I'm talking about. And Javion Smith's got a very similar build and brought in the similar situations. Weaver's going to call an audible. 1st and 10 on the 34. Drops back, looks down the right side of the field, fires a dart, and it's going to be a little too long. Great coverage from Eddie Sika there. So 2nd and 10 now coming up.
They tried to go deep to Jose Epinesa. He just couldn't get enough separation from Eddie Sika. And as much of an athletic freak as he is, the one thing Sika has him in is the speed department, especially one thing Sika is so good at is just sticking to the receiver in coverage, and there just wasn't enough separation.
Weaver now is going to make an audible. Stephen Moore Jr. will switch over to the right side. Now back over to the left. 2 receivers on the left side. It's going to be a run to Moore up the right. Now cuts it up the middle, and he's got almost a first down. They're going to mark him about a yard short.
Number 24, Stephen Moore Jr.
Maybe inches, but this is going to bring up a 3rd and short situation.
Michael Grazzini.
And Connor, if I'm Edwardsville, I'm bringing out Javion Smith right here.
Edwardsville will have
I mean, they bring him out for extra size, but the one thing from the film that I've seen, he's also, the reason he doesn't get a lot of carries is they'll go to Moore or Yates, but they'll bring Smith out there because of the threat, and they'll have him block and occasionally take it. It's like a true fullback.
And they're going to bounce this one out to Moore, and he spins. Does he get the chains? It's going to be close.
Number 24, Stephen Moore Jr. on the carry.
They're going to give it to him, so now working it up Duke's territory. 1st and 10 on the 22. A minute remaining here in the first quarter.
Tigers with the ball at the York 22-yard line.
Shifting personnel again. I mean, this is what they're going to do all night. They've got basically going to run 2 tight ends every play. You have out there right now Jackson Ward, who just came into the game.
Takes the snap, and he's going to be dropped right away. Great job by the front of the Duke's defense there. Yates was just met right away.
Led by number 34, Jimmy Connors. That brings up a 2nd and 9 for Edwardsville from the York 21-yard line.
One guy I think they're going to they might let go unnoticed. Jack Weaver is the older brother of the Yale Weaver. He's this team's top returning pass catcher. He's lining up at the tight end position tonight. 17 catches for 183 yards. Gotta watch him though. Used mostly in the run game. But like Hunter Stepanek, can also be a good receiving target. He's got a great build.
Score at the end of the first
Absolutely,
quarter
Connor. This is going to bring the first quarter to a close. York Duke 0, Edwardsville Tigers 0.
York Duke 0.
You're watching York Sports Network. First round of the IHSA playoffs coming soon. Welcome everyone back from the short break. 2nd and 9 in Duke's territory, and the Tigers are slowly but surely moving the ball down the field, Connor.
Slow, methodical drive. Really, it's just been all the run game.
Weaver, and it's another run, as Connor just mentioned, to Yates, but he's going to be brought down by Hayden Link, using his length there, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and long, Connor. And this is no easy field goal with the wind completely blowing into the kicker. You saw Brennan Kennedy's punt earlier. He had a hard time getting it out.
3rd and 9 with the ball.
Well, that's a great job. Great use of Hayden Link. They haven't really thrown the ball at all. Just one attempted pass for Yale Weaver, so might as well bring him in and have him just go straight for the running back.
Weaver takes the snap, rolls out to the left sideline, launches a bullet. It's going to be over the head of a Tiger, and now a 4th and 8 on the 20, and a decision
intended for
for the
6,
Tigers.
That brings up a 4th down, 4th and 8 for Edwardsville at the ball with the ball at the York 20-yard line.
Now.
They're also bringing in Clayton Lacatos, so we'll see. I would have to say they're going to go for it here.
Looks like they will. And hey, with that win, that's probably the right call.
It's time for a defensive stand here, York fans.
Early in this ball game, a 4th and long. This is a big situation for the Dukes. Can they get a stop, get their offense back on the field, and give them a chance to go down the field with points? Weaver takes the snap. And we got a timeout. Coach Gelsomino is going to want to talk this one over. And Connor, what would you bring here if you're the Tigers here on this 4th and long early situation?
I think you have to throw it here. I mean, you worked with the run once, but I'm not sure if that's the right play on 4th and 8. So I think, at least in my opinion, they're going to have to throw the ball, but maybe try and get it to some of your bigger targets. I mean, you saw them get bigger when they brought out Epinenza as well as Lacatos from the sideline. But also, don't be afraid to bring 2 running backs out there. Create a little deception. Stephen Moore Jr. does have some speed, so if you can hit him on a check down and he's wide open, he's got a chance to explode, shift in that 2nd gear and pick up the 1st down.
Absolutely, Connor. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did bring the run, but I got to think they're going to bring the throw here. The Duke secondary has done a great job on the few times that Edwardsville has thrown the ball, I will admit. It's a very chilly night, though. It's going to be a hard night to get a lot of yards passing tonight. It's going to be a lot of running, I believe, throughout this whole ball game as the crowd's going to come alive here. Early situation. Weaver more in the backfield, sends a man in motion. Weaver's going to take the snap. He's holding on to it. Here comes Reef out of nowhere. It's a jump pass over to Moore. He is going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. What a play on 4th and 8. Some absolute trickery, and that's going to get the Tigers their first lead of the game.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're throwing a guy in motion. They didn't do it with the 2nd running back. That time they did it with Epinesa, but that distraction, because he's just such a big target, I mean, that leaves Moore completely wide open. You take another look at that.
I mean, he barely got this ball off, and Reef was just about to hit him.
Reef was breathing down his neck. You sacrificed the protection by shifting Epinesa in and putting him in motion. That being said, it opened up Stephen Moore Jr. nowhere to go.
Extra point is good and through, and Connor said it perfectly. Reef was right there, just about to get him, and Weaver gets the throw off right in time. Moore walks in. That's just a fantastic play call. You called it right before. You said Moore's got that speed to make plays when sent in motion. They send him in motion. Just a great throw. Not the best spiral, but he gets it off in time. And what a play call, as we have an injured Tiger down, or Duke on the field, so we're going to step aside for a quick timeout. But what a start for the Tigers.
Set the kickoff for Edwardsville, be number 41, Hunter Lanning. Back deep for the Dukes, 17, Finton Helm.
So Lanning will kick it off here for the Tigers, and what a start here early. It came down to a 4th and long. They end up going for it in field goal range, getting it, and now up 7-0 on the road here. But we did see Edwardsville get off to an early start last year against York, and they couldn't end up finishing the ball game. So York is definitely not out of it yet. As Lanning's going to kick this one, it's going to be short. Helm's going to take it out. Up the middle, now cuts it back up the middle. Now back out right. He's got some room to run. He's going to bring it all the way down to the 35, and a possible hold the goal all the way there, Connor. Just some great jump cuts by Finton Helm.
Yeah, really great decision-making off this return. Finton Helm doing an excellent job, now giving the Dukes great field position to start their second drive. And this is what I was talking about. Field position is key. Brennan Kennedy, not the greatest punting into the wind. Gave Edwardsville some better starting position than you probably would normally have on a still night. And what did that result in? A touchdown. Now the Dukes with a chance to answer.
Massel takes the snap. It's a handoff to Connors, who's going to be swarmed behind the line of scrimmage, thrown down way behind, and that's going to be a loss of around 3 or 4.
Made by number 88, Jose
Espinesa just breaks through immediately.
Loss of 1 on the play. Dukes will now have a 2nd and 11.
And that's what makes him so good. He's a nightmare for these opposing offensive lines. 6'4", 270 pounds. I mean, the film speaks for itself. I mean, there are teams double teaming him week in, week out, and he still finds ways to get through. Just a physically dominant force up front.
Massel. It's going to be a handoff to Duda. Duda bounces it up the right. Great block. And here he goes up the right sideline. He's going to walk out of bounds. Talk about a great block from Quinlan Hughes. Did a great job of not holding him, doing just enough to make the play. And there is a flag on the play. And they're going to probably move it back. Let's see if we have a replay on this, Connor. Do you think this is a hold by Hughes? Can we even see it? Oh, it's back Kadowski, but looks like he let go of him.
Might have been too late. Didn't have the best
block in the back on the
No, they have block in the back.
10-yard walk off.
That would be blocking the back on Coast to Campus. If you looked at the replay at the beginning, he kind of came from behind and just pushed him down. So that is the right call.
31-yard line.
A little disappointing. It seems like every time the Dukes have made a pretty decent game, there's always been a flag on the play, but still early. 2nd and 14 on the 31. Massel is going to keep it up the middle, and he's going to be taken down. Probably gets a gain of around 1 or 2 on the carry, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long situation, Connor. One of the situations you said that the Dukes are going to have to avoid if they want a chance to win tonight.
Give Massel a gain of 2
we'll see. I mean, the first 3rd and long situation they had, Massel completed a pass to Finton Helm. It did get called back, but, you know, deep ball touch, getting the deep balls downfield has not been as much of a challenge for them as I thought it would be. That being said, I'm not sure if this is a sustainable thing to have going.
Massel tried to draw them off sides. Now the audible. Kadowski's on an island over there on the bottom of your screen. Massel rolls out. He's going to fire over to Kadowski, who's going to get a quick gain of around 7 or 8, and that's going to bring up a 4th and short. And the Brennan Kennedy and the punt team will come onto the field, so that's going to be a 3-and-out for the York Dukes.
Gain of 7 on that play. Brings up a 4th
and 5 play design.
The ball at their own 40-yard line.
And that play would have been better maybe on
number 8, Brennan
second
Kennedy.
or third, or first or second down.
Number 3, Clayton Licatos back deep for
Unfortunately, it just doesn't work out for the Dukes. I mean, they're just not getting enough yards, and penalties are hurting them. And some negative plays early in drives.
Kennedy's going to boot this one. It's going to be caught at the 20 for a fair catch.
Licatos calls for the fair catch.
And the Edwardsville Tigers will get the ball back. The chance to go up 2 possessions.
1st and 10.
Connor, what does York need to do better on offense to get the ball moving a little more?
I mean, the biggest thing that's hurting them, honestly, it's these penalties. They've got quite a few. I think they have 4 or 5 penalties, 4 penalties on offense, and it's just negating these positive plays. And
fans don't forget the athletic boosters.
After these penalties, you know, they're losing yards. A couple of rushing plays that go backwards. Some incompletions. You're just not setting the offense up for success, but that's kind of been a common theme. You know, they fall behind early, and then they try to play catch up. Gonna have to throw, I think, a little more on 1st down.
Moore is gonna go up the middle. He's gonna be swarmed right away by Sika and company.
Number 24, Stephen Moore Jr. on the carry.
But man, has Moore shown his explosiveness early, and the Dukes are gonna need to do a better job of containing him here, Connor.
Yeah, but a lot of this is gonna fall on the defensive unit for the Dukes. I mean, yes, they gave up the touchdown on Edwardsville's opening drive, but now they're going to really have to come together and make a statement here. If Joe Reef, Angelo Martiri, Tyler Hayes on the defensive line, they're going to have to get through to Yale Weaver eventually.
So 7-0, 8 minutes and 48 seconds remain here in the first half. Weaver and Moore in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. It's going to be another handoff to Moore. Moore is going to be brought down right away.
Number 24,
and this is going to bring up a 3rd and long, probably a passing situation here for the Tigers.
This is exactly what you need to do if you're the Dukes defense. You need to force these 3rd and medium, 3rd and long situations where they're going to have to throw the ball, because this is your opportunity to get a much-needed takeaway. Yale Weaver, 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. So he's pretty good at taking care of the football, but he has been prone to turn it over. And these are the situations that you need to get a younger quarterback in to force these turnovers.
As Weaver's going to drop back. Reef misses a tackle, no illegal block call. He's going to throw it out of bounds. Probably the right decision. And the York Dukes are going to force a punt.
Intended for number 6, Patrick Chisholm.
Great job by the defense. Joe Reef breaks up through the line almost immediately. Reef only has 1 sack this year, but he leads the team by a large margin, 22 quarterback hurries. There was a QB hurry there. He forces Weaver to throw it out of bounds, exactly what the Dukes need. As the Tigers are now punting deep out of their own territory.
The Tigers back deep for the Dukes, 16, Simon Kadowski.
Kadowski back to return. And here's the punt. It's going to be tipped. It's going to be short. It's going to go out of bounds at the 35. It's actually still rolling. It's going to go out of bounds at the 37. And the York Dukes special teams. The secret sauce comes up big here, Connor.
Yeah, Yale Weaver, just not a great punt. It just got, like you said, got tipped, and it just kind of spilled over to the side. That left side, and now talked about field position, starting field position. This is going to be huge right now for the Dukes. They have to capitalize off of what is given to them. They're starting at the 38-yard line.
And so some great field position here, Connor, and a big opportunity as the Dukes are just going to bring an all-receiver set here. Massel in the backfield. Don't be surprised if you see a QB draw here. It's just going to be a quick out route to Helm as he gets about 4 on the catch there.
Massel's pass complete.
Yeah, they're running an empty set, and everyone's either running a curl or slant. No one's really going too far, and that's exactly what they're going to have to do. I think they can really make an impact, pick up some easy yards on first and second down doing this. And then now you're back to that more traditional offense. You've got your normal starters in, and Jimmy Connors now at running back.
Connors in the backfield. Massel takes the snap. It's a handoff to Connors. Trying to go up the middle. He's going to be brought up for a gain about 1 on the carry, and this is going to bring up a 3rd and 5, Connor.
Tackle made by number 44,
to see them go back to those basic concept routes. Something that Massel can just quickly make a decision on if he wants to throw or not. You know, that's something he's just,
33-yard line.
that's really playing into his strengths, and that was the key for this game. When I was really thinking about how the Dukes could defeat the Tigers, is you have to play into your quarterback's strengths. This is an offense that has struggled against really strong defenses. This is easily the best defense they've faced all year. So you need to play into the strengths of Massel. That's RPOs and short routes.
And they go with the RPO. Massel up the middle, still on his feet. He's got the first down. Great call out by Connor. And that's going to move the chains for the Dukes.
I mean, that's exactly what I like to see. Massel making the decision to keep himself, goes up the middle, picks up the first down. And the Dukes really starting to move on what has been the most important drive for them up until this point. This is the closest they've gotten. They're only a few yards out of being in the red zone. This is time for them to make a statement.
Right now, nobody is on Birnbaum. They're going to shift him over. But Helm, once again, on a one-on-one ball, you got to wonder if they'll ever give him a chance to make a play, Connor. Here's a run up the middle for Connors. He sprints, breaking loose, but he goes down. Tackled for a gain of 5.
Tackle made by number 13.
Jimmy Connors never fails to go down, Connor.
Gain of 4 for
Well, I love that play design because you bring out Hunter Stepanek and you actually line up Birnbaum as a receiver, who, by the way, is second in receiving yards on this team. You bring out Stepanek for the blocking, and then Epinesa to help block Epinesa, and then you run Connors the opposite direction. Epinesa's on the right side. You run Connors to the left.
Massel takes a QB run up the left sideline, cuts it back up the middle, still on his feet. Massel breaking loose, he's gonna get in. He out-hustles the defense, and Massel plays with heart. That's a touchdown. York Dukes looking to tie the game with the extra point, showing his explosiveness, and there it is for a Dukes touchdown.
Great job by the offense. Great play call design, and that, once again, playing into the strengths of your quarterback. You take another look at this here. Massel immediately takes it out. Connor sets a great block, gets a great block from his receiver, spins, breaks a couple tackles, and is able to beat out the defensive lineman into the end zone. This is exactly what I was saying earlier. They need to score early. They took advantage of the great field position given to them by Edwardsville, and this is the collaboration you need between the offense capitalizing off what the defense and special teams gives them. Something that has been a struggle. They've really been disconnected over their, especially in their 2 losses. But now, right now, that drive, absolutely beautiful.
Great drive by the Dukes to square this game off. We're going to step aside. 7-7, York and Edwardsville, first round of the playoffs. Don't go anywhere. You're watching York Sports Network.
Jack O'Connor.
Jack O'Connor to kick this one back off, and
Darren Wilson.
York with a very convincing drive down the field. They played to their strengths, Connor. They threw it to the sticks. They started running RPO plays, just like you mentioned. That was the key to success for them all year. They started doing it as O'Connor's going to boot this one off, and it's going to go out into the end zone.
Kick will roll through the end zone and be a touchback.
And Rivera and company will trot onto the field.
Put the ball at their own 20-yard line.
And this drive will be this is a pretty big drive for both the York offense the York defense and the Edwardsville offense. If you're the defense, you're looking to make another statement. They did an excellent job kind of shutting them down. And whatever they've been doing is working. As for this Edwardsville offense, yes, the run has been effective, somewhat effective for the most part, but you're going to have to start throwing the ball, and you're going to have to figure out what your identity as a passing offense is, because otherwise the Dukes are just going to stack the box with their linebackers and bully you all night long, and the run game will not go anywhere.
Weaver takes the snap. He's going to fire out to Moore, who's going to go down for a gain of 1. So they try to go throw there and just go with a little check down. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 8. 5 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Edwardsville now have a 2nd
Yes, they get positive yards, but I'm really looking for Weaver to get more guys involved than just Stephen Moore Jr. in the passing game. All of his completions have gone to him so far, and I'm really looking for just some more guys to get involved, especially, you know, you're running 2 tight ends. There's a lot of deception you can do. I really like the play where they ran the motion and then they threw the touchdown to Moore.
Weaver's going to take the snap. It's a handoff to Moore, who's going to be brought down for a gain of 1 once again. So a 3rd and 7, and the Dukes have done a fantastic job of stopping the run here early, besides that one big breakout run for around 15 yards. Otherwise, a fantastic job stopping the run.
Yeah, really good job. And now this is going to force Edwardsville to do something big. They need to send some guys in motion, and Weaver needs to look at his receivers.
Crowd coming alive here at Clarence D. Field on a cold night in Elmhurst. As winter starts to approach, unfortunately, starting to feel the coldness as Weaver more to his right. Biggest play of the game thus far, 3rd and long. Takes the snap. He's going to fire down the field, and he's got a man. First down, Tigers. What a catch by number 6. That's Patrick Chisholm. That's going to move the chains as Weaver delivers a strike for the first down.
Yeah, well, great job. That's a great throw by Yale Weaver. Perfect spiral, right where only Chisholm could get it. He comes down with it, reels it in, and that's able to move the chains. You know, that was more of a simple design play. And if that's gonna work for them too, they should definitely stick to that. But they have 2 tight ends. I'd like to see them shift the motion a lot, especially with that Penenza.
Here's a handoff to Yates. He's behind the sticks, and Link's going to get him for a loss of 2, and the defense has just been all over that run. They just know when it's going to happen. Aiden Link records his 3rd tackle of the game already. Great job by the Dukes defense.
Well, the biggest thing is they're bringing Link in from safety. They're running the safety blitz to spy on the running back and get to him almost immediately. It's worked out. This is the 2nd time we've seen it have a big impact. Now it's the 2nd tackle for loss for Aiden Link today.
2nd and 12 on the Dukes. We're on the Edwardsville 33. In the 2nd quarter, Weaver is going to take the snap. Looking to pass. He fires one deep. Sika on his man. No flag. Oh, they did throw it eventually. They're going to get a pass interference on Sika. It looks like he was pretty clean, Connor. Do we have an instant replay on this? We do. Connor, do you think this is a pass interference if we get a good look? It looks like Sika was just fine there.
I mean, I don't really see anything. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, his reaction at the end says it all, but it's not going to be a pass interference. It's going to actually go. No, it is pass interference. The penalty is going to be a pass interference against the offense of Edwardsville was moving back. That's why I thought that. That's why I thought that.
Yeah, we were both on the same page. I was pointing that way because the whole Edwardsville offense was.
I started going back. I was thinking maybe holding, but no, it had to. A 15-yard penalty. But the flag was on by where Sika was.
To me, it looks like Sika's defense was perfect.
If anything, I thought it would have been, offensive holding on the receiver. I don't really know what he did there. He didn't turn around.
They send a man in motion. A handoff to Yates, but he's met at the line right away by Evan Gaughan.
Gavin Yates, he is hit hard by number 32,
leading tackler for this York defense. He has had such a great comeback here. You know, he had that
play.
Injury at the beginning of last season with his collarbone, and he's just came back playing like an absolute man. He's also committed to play lacrosse in college, so this guy's an absolute specimen of an athlete, Connor, and you see it right there.
Yeah, just a really nice job. Gaughan, like you said, he's been the most productive defender on this Dukes linebacking core and defense. You see it there.
As Moore is going to take the handoff, but guess what? He's met at the line of scrimmage once again.
Stephen Moore Jr.
Things getting a little chippy out there between the Dukes and the Tigers. Fans are booing for an unsportsmanlike conduct, and there's no need to be thrown to the ground. Dukes are feeding off that energy, though, Connor. They're bobbing their heads. Defense has really stepped up tonight, as of recently.
Another
Edwardsville DB. And this is going to bring up a 3rd and long with a minute left. Here's the clock is starting to tick down.
Dukes will now have a 3rd and 11.
Reef is going to pull Rosetnik here.
Line.
And how nice would points be here, Connor? I know it's a little too late. Clock's ticking, but it would be nice to get some points on the board going into the half.
Yeah, Christian, points would be great, but, you know, we missed it. But great job by the York defense on 3rd down, forcing a punt.
Massel looking to throw. He's going to keep it up the middle, and he's going to be sacked. And they will have to punt. He looked like he was going to go downfield. He just ended up holding onto it and running, so they're going to have to punt it back. But yes, Connor, can you break down what happened to everyone who missed that big 3rd down stand by the Dukes?
Timeout Edwardsville.
Big 3rd down coming up. Our power cuts out. Everything turns off. And the Dukes make a huge stand, forcing a punt. They almost blocked the punt. Gives them decent field position. Now the Dukes are going to have to punt it away. There's 26 seconds left in the first half. 7-7 your score.
And I mean, we thought we were going to be able to get the stream back because right as it cut out, we got a timeout. We're thinking, okay, maybe we can get the stream back before
Turns out
then.
The outlets on the roof all cut out on us, so none of them work anymore. So we had to improvise, but now we're back. We had to go down below into the booth. But we get it done.
That's how we do it around here, Con.
We did not miss as much as I thought we were going to miss.
And thank goodness for that. All in all, though, this matchup is really living up to its hype, as it looks like it's going to probably be 7-7 going into the locker room, assuming that Edwardsville is just going to need this one out, depending on where Kennedy boots this one. As he will. He's going to put a good boot on this one, an absolute bomb. And it's fumbled! It's loose, and Edwardsville's going to pick it up. They're going to get roughing the returner for sure. As number 3 on Edwardsville.
Clayton Licados just got
He got lit up.
Yeah,
that's an easy flag.
Yeah, he's limping off the field. Has to get helped out. They'll be fine. Never fun when you call for the fair catch and you just get the wind knocked out of you, especially on a cold night like this.
But penalties, once again, Connor, the Dukes have really struggled with those all night, and it shows up there again. That's just a really easy, that's one of those things that's really easy not to do. It's pretty easy just to, let the returner go, but I can see what happened there. It looks like Gaughan will check out, and a new face there in for the Dukes. Number 40 will check in. Linebacker, that's going to be
the penalty on York.
Noah Zamal.
As Zimmerall comes out for Owen Chale. 13 seconds.
.13 seconds left in Edwardsville at this point, just trying to get some sort of points, I'd assume. It's going to be hard to make a field goal with this wind. It's very windy up here, and it's blowing into them. So they're going to have to get within chip shot range for any sort of field goal. But right now, the Duke's goal is just to get off the field, get in the locker room. We squared it up. We eventually got points. They'd just be happy with going in the locker room. Only letting up really 2 really big plays all game so far on the defense. It's been that 4th and long, maybe 120-yard rush. Otherwise, the Duke's defense has been, I'd say, perfect, Connor. Besides a few penalties, they've been very controversial, nearly perfect.
Kind of the same thing for Edwardsville. If you think about it, they really haven't let up a lot of big plays. Yes, the Massa one where he broke multiple tackles, that's probably the only blemish on this defensive showing from them. Both teams playing outstanding defense right now, and I really think that this is what we were expecting. This was going to be the theme of the game. It was going to be defense first, and I think they're really starting to work out the kinks. They both gave up the touchdowns, but they're really starting to settle in. And I don't know. It's going to come down to which defense breaks first. Will likely determine the outcome of this game going into the second half.
Absolutely, Connor. Couldn't have said it better myself. And with that, we're going to step aside for halftime. 7-7, match is all squared as it's lived up to the hype tonight. Don't go anywhere. We got a short halftime break. You're watching York Sports Network.
tonight's winner of the $250 Amazon gift card sponsored by John Nolden from Guaranteed Rate here in Elmhurst is Jenny Summer. Jenny Summer, you are the winner of the $250 Amazon gift card courtesy of John Nolden of Guaranteed Rate Insurance here in Elmhurst. That winning ticket number 418507.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back from the break. Is automatic Jack O'Connor is going to kick this one off and back to the Tigers. They're going to take it out as Wilson now cuts it back, looking for the tackle, but he breaks it, and he's going to keep going. He's going to be knocked out at the 20 as we got multiple flags on the play.
For Edwardsville, there is
Coach Gelsomino's looking for a legal touching and possibly a clip block on the Tigers. We will see what the call is, but
Great job by the Edwardsville special teams unit, making the most out of what looked to be absolutely nothing. Really good kickoff from Jack O'Connor, just kind of skipping its way inside the 10-yard line. Then they pick it up. But 7-7 game, and it's gonna be these two first opening drives for both
against
teams.
Edwardsville.
Hold against Edwardsville, I might add. But these two opening drives, Christian, will be absolutely crucial for both teams. How are you going to come out of the half?
From their own 10-yard line.
absolutely, Connor. It's already been knocked back as the Tigers now have to take a 10-yard penalty with a little clip holding block, which is illegal. So that will move them back to the 10-yard line as Weaver and company come onto the field. Look to see a lot of runs here early in this drive, trying to establish that run is what they were doing on the last drive. Last two drives this game is Sika's calling for an audible to the sideline on the defense. Weaver in the gun. Yates to his left. It's going to be a deep ball up the middle. He's got a man. But it's fumbled. The ball is loose and scooped up by the Dukes. Do they have it? I think the Tigers may have jumped on top of it.
Tigers possibly.
Pass was
Are they calling that a completion? That's really surprising.
17, Gavin Potas.
Wow. I believe he did make a football move. A whole pile of Dukes missed the football, though, Connor.
Look at it. Really nice throw by Yale Weaver. No, he did have possession.
How does this whole pile of Dukes miss it?
I mean, you can't even see it. It looked like Aiden Link was the first to fall on it.
As Weaver drops back to throw again, he's surrounded by Dukes. He's going to have to toss it out of bounds, and that's not going to be intentional grounding because he was out of the pocket, but he did make a football move there, and great heads-up play by the Tigers to recover that fumble.
How about that last throw by Yale Weaver, though? That's probably his best of the day. He's staying composed in the pocket. Great job by his offensive line. I don't think they've gotten enough credit, but they're described as a unit that really keeps and makes and breaks this offense. But Weaver, composed in the pocket, delivers a dart, kind of switched to that three-quarter sidearm action, something you see from a guy like Matt Stafford. Fires a dot over the middle for a strong completion and a first down.
Absolutely fantastic comparison, Connor, as Weaver's going to take the snap. It's a handoff to Yates. Reef looking to make the tackle, but it's swarmed up by the secondary of the Dukes, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and long. You know, going back to that big pass play, Connor, you know, what I said was they're probably going to run the ball here, pound the run, but they show up with a pass, a long pass. They didn't really pass that much in the first quarter, or the first half, let alone. And they come out with that out of the locker room, so definitely great call by the offense.
This is an offensive adjustment that needed to happen, though the run really was not working for them in that second quarter.
As Weaver takes the snap. It's a little shuffle pass to Espinenza, but he's going to be brought down way short of the sticks. And the punter for Edwardsville will have to come out and kick it back to the Dukes as Coach Gelsomino is fired up that his defense went out there and got a stop, especially after that big play. They made up for it and got a 3-and-out after that.
Weaver's pass
really a great,
I mean, I'm not,
Jack Weaver. I wasn't the biggest.
He is short of
I didn't hate that play. That wasn't terrible. Weaver with the little, just pitch it off to the big fella. Epinenza just met with the suffocating Duke's linebacking core right away. Nowhere to go. So then Yale Weaver will just have to punt it away.
As here's the punt. It's another one that's tipped. And it's going to spin back all the way to the 40. So about a 5-yard punt there. And that's the second tip punt of the day. Looks like it was number 86, Owen Roberts, the sophomore, using his length to advantage on special teams. And boy, have they came up big tonight.
Dukes will take over.
How about a 6-yard punt as Owen Roberts is going to get looked at on the sidelines.
41-yard line.
His hand. How about a 6-yard punt for Yale Weaver? And once again, great field position for the Dukes. They need to capitalize on this. This is their opportunity. And like I said, it's how will this team come out? How will these two teams come out of the half? And this Dukes offense has a real chance to make a big statement right now.
As Massel's going to take the snap, he cuts it up the middle. He's still on his feet. All the way up to the first down. He's got more. Massel up the right sideline. He's got nothing but green grass ahead. York Dukes score once again on a run from the quarterback keeper. His second of the night. Bruno Massel on takeover. 13-6-7 York Dukes.
Well, they stack the left side. They go trips left is the formation. 3 blockers. They go to Massel, QB keeper. He cuts it over to the right, and he's able to break a couple of tackles again. You see right there, he gets through 3 guys, stays on his feet, and he's got the entire right sideline to himself, and he's able to take a perfect angle and trot into the end zone.
On for the point after try, number 8, Brennan Kennedy from the hold.
Exactly what I was saying in the first half. Play into his strengths. That absolutely is one of his strengths, running the football.
The extra point is up and through, and Connor, talk about playing their strengths. That's Massel's second rushing touchdown. This is a York Dukes team that was not favored by a lot of people coming to this game. Everyone was wondering, you know, York hasn't beat a team over 500 all year. Their best win was against a 4-5 Hinsdale Central team, Connor. A lot of people are saying they got no shot in this game. I don't care that they're the higher seed. Edwardsville is the better team. They're going to come out here and run them. But York has absolutely proved everyone wrong on what's been going on. They have been showing up, Connor. This is a team that's playing with intent on defense and offense, proving a lot of people out there who really thought Edwardsville was going to be heavily favored tonight.
I mean, totally. Bruno Massel already has 91 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, and it looks like Edwardsville was so fixated on the duo of Henry Duda and Jimmy Connors, who I might add the Dukes really haven't gone to. The lead rusher, the main guy tonight, has been the quarterback, Bruno Massel. And this is a look from the offense we haven't seen all year long. They're relying on short passes and RPOs. A lot of QB runs, but they're doing. I think it's good because they had to switch it up against this defense. This is not a defense where you can just run the ball up the middle, run the ball up the middle, and expect to beat. You'd have to get creative, and they have. And it shows in the score, 14-7, Dukes lead.
Jack O'Connor to kick this one off, and he's going to hit a little squibber. Plenty of speed. It's got to be returned, and it's bobbled. The ball is loose, but Wilson picks it up, turning up the left side of the field with plenty of speed. Still going, and they believe they're going to get another hold here on the Tigers, but Wilson almost made something out of nothing there.
There is a flag on the play.
Second return where he's really made things interesting, just cutting it back to the complete opposite hash.
It's going to be another hold against the Tigers, so they're going to move the ball all the way back to the 10-yard line once again. Now penalties, which are a big issue for York in the first half, starting to turn into the Tigers' issue, especially in special teams.
And now you really need this offense to get something going. The run has not been there. However, they have been getting some decent yards in the passing game.
Penalty's going to be half the distance.
You're going to have to rely on Yale Weaver to make these high-level throws, and I just don't think that they've really asked him to do that all season long. I think they're so used to getting such good field position because of their defense. You're really only having to go about half the field the majority of the time, but now you're asking them to go 94 yards. Will they be able to do it?
Weaver sends a man in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Moore. Moore is going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1 or 2. But Connor, talk about energy. This York sideline is absolutely electric right now. This is a team we have yet to see all year, a team that's playing a very tough defense, yet scoring points, and then a very talented offense that's been stopping a lot of things too. Definitely a different look from what we've seen all season.
And I think, you know, we had our notes or whatever on what York would have to do to come out on top. But I think they surprised everyone here, and the fact that no one thought they would come out and play the way that they have tonight.
Still plenty of time left, but as of right now, there's going to be a false start. The ball is loose, recovered, and they're going to get a false start, so that's going to be a loss of 6. They'll decline that. It'll bring up around a 3rd and 14, Connor, but as we were talking about, you know, we said, oh my goodness, Edwardsville's got Espinenza, they've got a lot of guys, but the York's defense has stepped up and kind of set the tone. And then, you know, as you mentioned so many times, changing that play calling, how do you think their play calling has affected, like, the difference since making those adjustments? You know, all year they've really switched up to what they've been doing all year, is what you've been saying. How do you think that's changed things tonight?
I think the play calling got simpler. You're running less motion. You're just kind of keeping guys alive, and it's really helped against this defense. Kind of just giving what the defense is giving. A lot of curls, a lot of slants.
As here's the handoff to Moore, but Reef and company there to stop him. Edwardsville is going to have to send out the punting team, and the Dukes are looking at a great, excuse me, that was second down, so it's going to be third and long there. Thank you for reminding me, Connor. But going back to that, you said simpler, a lot less motion for sure. I mean, totally different look.
They're getting bigger. That's the key. Getting bigger against a team like Edwardsville will help you significantly. That gives Massel just enough time to make his reads and quickly get rid of the ball. And it also allows Massel to run the ball effectively.
This crowd making a lot of noise in their own end zone is Edwardsville. Is they're going to be taken down in the end zone. That's going to be a safety. Evan gone, Angelo Martiri, the whole front. And the York Dukes defense has absolutely come alive tonight. Now 16-7, York Dukes lead. Boy, oh boy, what a play.
The pocket absolutely collapses on Yale Weaver. And he's got nowhere to go. No one is open. Great job by the secondary, locking up all the receivers. You see him try to spin out of it. Angelo Martiri there to throw him down. That's huge, making it a 9-point game now as the Dukes lead over the Tigers.
I mean, absolutely crazy. This defense has stepped up, and Joe Reef getting to the quarterback, Angelo Martiri getting to the quarterback. Absolute takeover. And Edwardsville, you got to wonder, is that bus ride, that 4-hour bus ride from St. Louis starting to kick in a little bit, Connor? Maybe with some energy. I'm not sure 100%, but I'm sure they came in yesterday. That certainly takes a toll on your body to come all the way out here to play in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, no school for the Edwardsville School District. They left this morning. They arrived at York at least at about 3:30. I guess they're on a very nice, comfortable coach bus, but still, that's tolling on anybody.
Just like an airplane flight, you know, if you come off a plane, it's kind of hard just to like jump right into a sport or jump right into playing something right away. It's kind of just like you're sitting down, relaxing, your legs get kind of tight. I'm not saying that's why Edwardsville isn't playing too well right now, but it certainly is definitely taking a toll on all of these players' bodies. I've got to think. It would definitely take a toll on our guys, I know, if we had to go out there, Connor. So here's going to be a short little sky kick. Great heads-up play by Colby Bear just to let it go out of bounds. And another penalty for Edwardsville. The special teams now 3 penalties here in the second half.
York once again will get some good field position, good starting field position, and they've really got an opportunity here to not just extend this to 2 possessions, but 3. And if you're Edwardsville, your defense really needs to group together, make a stand. You got to eliminate the big play.
You know, Connor, if you're the Dukes, you've had some really big plays, big guys step up tonight that usually haven't all year. Angelo Martiri with multiple sacks tonight, half sacks, and then coming up with, he was the main tackler on that safety, Connor. He has been an absolute weapon up front tonight, and he's been great all year at putting pressure on the other team, but now getting to the quarterback and forcing those hits, he's just been an X factor on defense for sure tonight.
After that penalty against Edwardsville, York will take over 1st and 10 at the Edwardsville 45-yard line.
So York's going to get the ball at the 45-yard line of Edwardsville.
Field position, great starting field position. They've had it all night. Edwardsville has given them great starting field position all night.
Kadowski at the bottom of your screen. Hellman Hughes at the top right. As this is going to be a handoff to Connors, and they're going to get a hold against the Dukes.
34, Jimmy Connors on the carry.
So this will bring this one back, Connor.
There's a flag on the play.
Still, Jimmy Connors is out there, not due to yet.
Number 5, Landon Holmquist.
Well, when you're getting, I got a face mask on Edwardsville.
Penalty is a personal foul against.
So another penalty against Edwardsville.
Face mask.
When you're giving them such great field position, you get an illegal procedure on special teams. The last thing you can do is on the first play, get a personal foul. that moves them up even further. I mean, York doesn't even have to do anything right now. They're just getting 3 yards.
You know, Connor, when they threw that flag so early, you'd think it would be a hold or a false start or something, but a face mask that early in a play, very aggressive, definitely, you know, one of those things, you got to control your temper, you got to keep it together. Like you said, personal fouls, you know, that's a must not do if you're Edwardsville right now. Massel takes the snap. It's a keeper up the middle. Bruno Massel exploding, looking for his 3rd rushing touchdown. He's going to be tackled short. He almost got loose once again there.
Massel now with over 100 rushing yards on this game. And no one's been able to stop him. He's just slipping through everyone. That's just normally not something that you see him do. Normally the guy that's shedding tackles is Jimmy Connors, but tonight Bruno Massel getting in on the action as well.
Massel takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Connors. Connors treading his way through. He's going to get about 3 or 4 on the carry.
Connors on the carry. Tackle made by number 44, Noah Ramirez.
Now that the Dukes are up multiple possessions, I think this is when they start to try and wear the defense down.
Edwardsville 11-yard line.
You're starting to slow things down just a little bit. Obviously, you want to end this drive with a touchdown. But in the beginning, you're going to try and run it down a little bit.
Absolutely. Massel's going to hand it off to Connors, who's going to try to bounce it outside. Now cuts it back up the middle, just fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to bring up a 3rd and 5.
Oh, flag.
There is a flag after the play.
Just another potential personal foul on sportsmanlike conduct on one of these.
Take another look at it. Jimmy Connors cutting back. Very rarely do you see him make that mistake.
And where does this flag come in?
Oh, Jack Birnbaum gave a little shove to an Edwardsville defender who went right at the face and pushed them. Can't do that.
It's going to be on Birnbaum as the fans are just not having it, Connor.
They did get it right. Birnbaum and
both the offsetting penalties.
Offsetting penalties.
Unnecessary roughness on the Dukes and unnecessary roughness.
But do you think Birnbaum triggered him to do that, or do you think it was both ways, Connor, because he reacted?
Definitely. I mean, if you look at the replay, he gave him a little shove. But I'm surprised that they saw Birnbaum shove. Usually they just see the reaction to the initial contact, which was kind of surprising. But the refs actually got it right. It's offsetting on both teams.
So the clock skating seems to be in a little confusion. Gelso's trying to send him onto the field.
Well, the line's ready. They just got to get the skill guys down.
Gelso says he's talking to the ref. Looks like they're going to call a timeout and just try to run the clock down till the play clock expires. Now the offensive line walking off, so that's definitely what it's going to be, Connor.
Well, it's 3rd and 6, the ball at the 11-yard line. Now the question I have is, if you don't pick up the conversion, do you just go for the chip shot field goal with Brennan Kennedy?
That'll be their first charge timeout.
Or you go for it on 4th down and pin them deep in their own territory if you don't get it?
Fans, don't forget on the south
I think you got to go for it, Connor, no matter what. At this point of the game, you know, already up 2 possessions.
Booster Club.
Actually, a field goal does make it a 3-possession game. So
for tonight's game.
Actually, yes, it does. So either way, I don't think you can really go wrong. I think going for those points with the way they've been dominant. But first, they got to start and try to get that 1st down. And if it happens to come down to a decision like that, I think you'd have to go with your gut, which is probably keeping the offense on the field. We really haven't seen the Dukes take much of their points in those short situations all year, and it's really paid off. Most of the time they've done that.
They're in a 3rd and 6 situation. I think they're going to run the ball. It's probably going to be Bruno Massel. You've already gotten bigger. You have Joe Reef out there as well. Jimmy Connor's also out there, and he's usually out there when it's a design run for Bruno Massel. He's better in the blocking game. They've got Stepanek out there. It's trips left. I'm saying they're going to run the ball with Bruno Massel.
And Massel's going to roll out to the left side. Connor, you're right. It's a keeper. Massel fighting for the sticks. But I believe they're going to mark him short.
Knocked out of bounds.
He kind of disguised it. It almost looked like it was going to be a pass, and then he did end up keeping it.
Not a big fan because they didn't change anything about the formation. They left it absolutely the same. If they were going to run it like that, I would have loved to see him throw, but it looked like they were committed to him running the ball the entire time. And if that was the case, I mean, he's so fast. He should just take off and go from the start.
Offense is going to stay on the field, Connor. So you said, should they kick the field goal? Should they go for it? And they're going to go for it.
They should have. I would have liked them to see them committed to the run on that last play. Only picked up 2 yards, so it's going to be a little bit harder. I'm looking at Finton Helm at the bottom of the screen.
Massel rolls out to the right side, looking for a man. He's going to throw it up the middle. He's got one. That's going to be Simon Kadowski. Massel connects with Kadowski. And that's a hat trick for Massel. 3rd touchdown of the night. The York Dukes up now 22-7. Extra point on the way.
Well, that's huge for this offense. They have roll Massel out to the right, and he's just going to throw it over the middle. Kadowski completely untouched right at the goal line and just takes 1 step, and he's in the end zone. And the Dukes are really starting to pull away now. 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. This is just not at all what we were expecting. I was expecting a low-scoring defensive battle, struggle for points. But the only team struggling for points right now is Edwardsville.
So they will go for 2 and try to make this a 17-point lead. So this is the shift between a 2-possession and a 3-possession game, Connor. Definitely a big play here. Massel takes the snap. He's going to throw it over the middle. He's got a wide open Hunter Stepanek. Now a 17-point lead in a 3-possession game. And that is exactly what they drew up coming out of the half, Connor.
Well, that's a big 2-point conversion right there. And how about Hunter Stepanek going untouched? You really just don't remember him. He's lined up, and then Massel just cuts it back, throws it wide open to him. He lines up, disguises well with more of an offensive lineman. And coming into this game, he only had 2 receptions for 21 yards and 1 touchdown all season long. Really was just non-existent in the passing game because that's not what Mike Murphy wanted to use him for. The feature guy, the receiving tight end, was Jack Birnbaum. But you can't forget his big frame allows him to come through at big times, and he was someone that I was keeping my eye out on this game. So I thought his size would play better against a bigger team like Edwardsville. You see on that 2-point conversion, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, Connor, the Dukes have really executed their game plan here in the second half, coming out and scoring 17 straight. A touchdown with the 2-point conversion, another touchdown, and a safety. So definitely coming out here and playing with their hearts on fire. As here's a little onside-er. And they're going to go down right away. They get the ball at the 40, and O'Connor tried to catch them off guard there.
O'Connor's kick is fielded and down by number 31.
Like you said, try to catch him off guard. Not sure if I'm a big fan of that, just with how bad they've been getting pinned and all the special teams miscues. I feel like you were just kind of giving them 40 free yards to just fall down on the ball.
Yeah, you know, especially with Tavion Smith, he's already dropped 2 kickoffs.
I wonder if they're getting nervous because of the way he was kind of cutting it from hash to hash. I wonder if they kind of got nervous and were like, okay, well, maybe if he breaks it away, he's going to run for a touchdown.
You know, that's a very good point. He does have tremendous speed. As it's going to be a run up the middle from Moore, and he is going to be
number 24.
Stop, but they say the ball is loose. The Dukes think they have it. They're going to call Edwardsville down first. Didn't look like they had the best view at it, but they're going to mark Edwardsville down, so it will not be a fumble. It will stay with the Tigers.
Tackle made by a host of York defenders. Gain of 3 for Moore Jr. Edwardsville now
really hasn't worked, and I don't think they need to, go full hurry up offense, but I think they're going to have to start taking some shots downfield, trying to take out some big chunks of yardage pretty quickly here.
They're going to launch it deep. Weaver over the middle. It's picked up by Aiden Link. There's the shot Connor mentioned. Link trying to cut it up the field. They're going to get a block here on Connors, so we'll go back a little bit. But all in all, the York Dukes come up with another stop. And that's going to be a huge play
on the field after the interception.
It's like you said, huge interception right there. Weaver's going downfield for Gavin Patas, the 6-foot wide receiver, his first target of the game, and he really just kind of overthrows him. Not Weaver's best throw into double coverage. Link reads it perfectly, picks it off. 2 plays, they turn it over.
And the defense, Connor, has showed up. We've been talking about it all night.
The call is going to be an illegal block in the back.
Illegal block in the back, as I mentioned. So it's after the interception. Duke's offense will get the ball back, but defense turning into offense has been the main story of the second half.
The defense has really set up the offense, getting them great field position, and right there, forcing a turnover.
At the York 20-yard line, Dukes take over.
Now this is going to be more traditional York football. They're going to run the ball quite a bit. Going to see more running of the football. Try and wear the clock down.
Yeah, that first half was only 54 minutes, and already had a pretty long third quarter here, so it's starting to catch up a little bit. As Massel's going to keep it up the middle, just breaking tackles all the way down to the first down.
On the
just keeps fighting all night.
I think the Dukes, if they can, they're really going to try and stretch this drive out. One thing they're so good at is when they get a lead, they're able to just kill so much of the clock. And ideally, this would bring them down and kill the majority of the third quarter, I might say.
Yeah, Connor, and if the Dukes are able to win this one, who is York looking at next in the bracket? If they end up coming out with the win here against a very good Edwardsville team, who would they move on to play in the next round of this playoff bracket?
Well, the Dukes, they would be moving on to face the winner of number 3 Oswego and number 30 Waubonsie Valley. Oswego heavily favored in that matchup, but you never know what can happen in playoff time in the playoffs. If they do face off, they will play at Oswego. If Waubonsie pulls off the ridiculous upset, they will also go to Waubonsie Valley.
Number 26 Henry Duda on the carry.
You mentioned Oswego. They're 9-0 this year, Connor, so definitely a team playing very good football right now. And
Dukes will now have
this win, York would move to 8-2 if they ended up coming away with this win tonight. And that would be a very high anticipated matchup between those two teams. Look to see a very good game, but first the Dukes got to find a way to close this one out. And still a good amount of time here left with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Massel in the gun. Connors to his left, sends a man in motion. That's going to be Birnbaum. It's going to be another run. Connors moving his way up the middle. He's going to get about 4 on the carry, and this will bring up a third
Jimmy Connors
and 3 and third and 4.
Tackle made by number 5, Landon Holmquist. Give Connors a gain of 5 on that play.
How about this offensive line? They're doing a great job protecting their quarterback, setting up the runs for him on these designed quarterback runs. I've just been really impressed with how they've come through, especially against easily the toughest defensive line they've faced.
They drew him off sides, and here comes the flag. So that will move the chains, and great job by Massel to catch him off guard. And that's what the hard count is for. You know, we've seen it all night. Once in a while they go to the hard count, and it hadn't really been working, but that is why they do it, Connor. 3 yards just like that play.
First and 10 Dukes with the ball now at their own 41-yard line.
Yeah, they just get him to jump right there. That's exactly why they do it. You know, even when the teams aren't jumping, they continue to do it, and you think oh man, this is getting real tedious, but that's exactly why they do it.
So Bruno Massel and company have been moving the ball really well down the field all night. You mentioned Massel over 100 yards rushing. He's got a hat trick, 2 rushing, 1 passing. Looking to add on tonight. So here's a little screen pass out to Alexander. He's going to run into his blocker, but he's still on his feet. Breaks a few tackles and a decent catch. There is Tavion Smith just runs over him at the end there.
Tackle
no flag thrown, but a little chippy there.
That passing play from
Javion Smith, just a big linebacker, flying all over the field.
Now have a second and
but a really good play design there. It's the quick
line.
passes that these, I think this is going to be the playoff York offense that they're going to thrive on. It's going to be these short, quick passes to Massel's receivers. I mean, they sent Stepanek in motion to give Massel more time on the blind side, and they left Sivright in a one-on-one alone.
Here's a handoff to Connors as he's going to cut up the middle. He's plowing through the defense.
34,
Gets a nice carry of 3 yards.
As tackle made by number 44,
run game just seems to be there
Rivera.
every single
That's
time.
good for another York first down.
Still winding this clock down. They're doing a great job.
Edwardsville territory.
We've got less than 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Line. Gain of 6 on that carry for Connors.
So 24-7, a minute and 40 seconds remain. 1st and 10 in Edwardsville territory. Massel's going to keep it up the middle. He's exploding, going for his 3rd rushing touchdown. Bruno Massel's going to run in, way over 100 yards. Absolute takeover. That's a hat trick of 3 rushing touchdowns. He's got a total of 4 tonight, 1 throwing. Close to the 200-yard mark. Bruno Massel absolutely explodes.
It's a Bruno Massel takeover this game. It's his 4th total offensive touchdown. You look here. Well, that's the Hayden Alexander reception. But on this play design, you have Epinesa lining up, going on a one-on-one with Hunter Stepnick. That opens up the middle of the field. The line does a great job creating a hole, and Massel shifts it into the 2nd gear and rushes into the end zone for his 3rd of the day.
And that's why it's called the read option, Connor. He could have either handed it off or taken it up the middle. He takes it up the middle. What an unbelievable read by Massel. He's done a fantastic job at it all night. Should I hand it off? Should I keep it? He's had their number all night. In another breakdown play for Edwardsville. That's been their issue. We cannot let the breakdown plays. That was their goal coming out of half. And they have now let up 23 straight. 24 if this extra point goes through. 24 unanswered, actually make it 31 unanswered points because Edwardsville was up 7-0, Connor. So it's a complete shift of momentum since the half.
31.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Massel making the right decisions. That last play, that was a great example. He fakes it to Duda. If he gives it to Duda, Duda meets Epinesa almost right away, who looked like he was getting through Hunter Stepnick. Instead, Massel keeps it himself. And again, this line doing a great job. That's Jack Bodak and Costa Campus creating the hole for him, kind of in the middle to the little bit more to the right. And now all of a sudden we have a 31-7 score. I don't think anyone would have predicted this score tonight.
Thinking off for the Dukes.
Number
Connor,
30, I do not think
back deep for
anyone would have had this. You know, Luca DeSanto, our sideline reporter, you know, he picked Edwardsville to come out on top tonight.
I picked a score of 10-7. I really thought there was only going to be about 17 total points of offense. I couldn't see more than 20.
I had 17-13, so we were all very, very off tonight.
17-13, York's got more points than the total score you predicted. Just not what we were
expecting.
expecting.
They got double what you predicted, man. As here's a long return, still on his feet, but he's going to be brought down by number 40, Noah Schmall.
For Edwardsville. Tackle
and there's going to be a flag thrown way after the play. It's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on the special teams. Looks like it's going to go against number 23.
That's Jack Ostendorf. I mean, that's a great tackle.
No need for the extras, though.
Yep, another unsportsmanlike. Took a great tackle by Noah Zimmerhall, and it just gets completely offset by the extracurriculars after the play on Jack Ostendorf. That'll move Edwardsville up, give them even better starting field position. That being said, they're going to have to capitalize off of it. They still got time in this third quarter, but they need to make something happen now.
After that penalty, Edwardsville now have a 1st and 10 with the ball thrown 36-yard line.
31-7. 24-point deficit, Connor, for Edwardsville to overcome here. Still waiting for that very big explosive play. The Dukes defense has been all over them tonight as Moore's going to bounce this one up to the left side, but he's brought down right away by the Dukes front. And Connor, go into depth about how Joe Reek is playing tonight. You know, he hasn't really played both ways much at all this season, but he made the adjustment in practice this week. He's just been a complete X factor on both offensive and defensive line.
Gain of 1 on the play.
There's an injured Juke, but it's really been a great story this week. you know, they wanted Joe Reef to be on the line, you know, because you're losing majority of your defensive starters. You lost Jack Troutman last year. You lost a bunch of your other linemen, Ravi Pradhan, Andrew Bricker. So they, going into this season, Coach Gelsomino wanted Joe Reef to play mostly on the line. So he lost the left tackle spot to Cam Sivright, who's done an excellent job there. However, going into this week, Edwardsville prepared for Joe Reef to, Edwardsville prepared to line Jose Epineza on the opposite side of Joe Reef. To combat this, the Dukes, instead of running a rotation between Sivright and Reef at left tackle, they also put him in at right tackle. So they're shifting pieces of the line around to make themselves bigger. And this is a thing that was heading into this game. Yes, Edwardsville is a bigger team on paper, but York has the pieces to make themselves match up well with the size, and they've done that tonight. And that's a big reason why it's 31-7 Dukes.
So 2nd and 9. It's a little pitch pass, and he's going to be brought down by Jimmy Connors right away. Complete. There was a few flags thrown on the play, and Connor, lots of flags here in the second half.
Really a lot of flags. I mean, it's really slowing this game down. Like you mentioned, only a 54 minute first half, and it's really just getting slowed down by the flags. Angelo Martiri was on that tackle. It was Jack Weaver's first reception of the game, but that gets taken away. It's a hold on this Edwardsville offensive line.
Yeah, so that will knock them down once again, Connor. And the big issue for Edwardsville tonight has been the penalties. We were talking a half. Could they clean that up? But they actually came out of the half, and it's been a lot worse than it was in the first half.
This line was described as what could make or break the offense. So far, it has not helped them out. The run game has been quiet.
Yeah. As here is going to be a handoff to Moore Jr., who's going to bounce it out and be short way of the sticks, Connor. So this will bring up a 3rd and long. And you said the run game has been quiet. How do you think that's affected them when it comes to terms of passing? Because the few times that they've tried to air it out, you know, there's been interceptions, there's been deflections. How has that changed the game for them?
Kind of like York, Edwardsville is a run-first offense. They're not a team that relies on the pass. And when you force them to throw the ball, that's when the problems arise, because Yale Weaver is just first-year starter in an offense where they don't ask him to do very much.
That'll be the end of the third
as the third quarter comes to a close, but they don't ask him to do too much. And that's really causing some problems here.
7.
So York 31, Edwardsville 7. We're going to step aside the little break between the 3rd and 4th. Don't go anywhere. You're watching York Sports Network. So 3rd and 14 on the 32, Connor. And if you're Edwardsville here, time slowly start running away. What is your play call here?
You've got to air it out. You've got to trust Yale Weaver. You know he can make these high-level throws. You've just got to have faith.
Weaver's going to sling one out, and it's going to be behind the sticks.
Weaver's pass incomplete.
Be incomplete.
24,
and that is going to bring up a 4th and 14 in the punting squad will come out as Kadowski will send it back. He'll be the returner here.
From their own 32-yard line.
The York defense really having their way tonight against Edwardsville.
Yale Weaver not out to punt the ball. Something to keep an eye out on.
Back to punt for Edwardsville.
So new punter.
Number 9,
yeah, new punter. It's going to be Christopher Malone, a 6-foot wide receiver and defensive back.
And they're just really lacking punting, but this is actually going to work. It's going to roll all the way down to the 35.
Not the prettiest thing.
Interesting.
Got the job done.
I'm not sure that was on purpose, but it worked out.
He flipped the field.
That's how it's done right there.
And now, with basically all of the fourth quarter remaining, I mean, now I think York is just in kill the clock mode.
Yeah, slow, methodical drive, kill the clock mode.
Bruno Massel, a perfect 9 of 9 for 47 yards.
With 3 rushing touchdowns. Some J.J. McCarthy stats, if you will.
Justin Fields right there. 13 carries, 157 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's also got a passing touchdown to supplement that as well.
As here's going to be a handoff to Duda. Duda makes the cut. He's going to get about 3 on the carry.
26 Henry Duda.
It's really been crazy that the York Dukes, I don't think they've had one run stop behind the sticks all night, Connor.
Maybe one, if anything. Dukes will now have a 2nd and 5 with the ball.
Really funny just to see that your lead rusher really just is not that big of a factor in the game. Henry Duda, 873 rushing yards on the season with 7 touchdowns. Massel right behind him with 447 and 4 rushing touchdowns.
Massel's going to take the snap. It's going to be another keeper. He's going to work up the middle. Now cutting it back, and he's got the first down. And that's what it's been about. You said it's been kind of crazy that Duda hasn't been that much effective. And yes, it's really crazy. But, you know, getting a healthy Massel back from that injury he suffered, he's going to be running a lot more. It's been all about the QB run read option tonight, Connor. It's either am I going to hand it off to Duda or keep it myself, and he has read the defense all night.
At their own 48-yard line, gain of 9 on that carry for Massel.
10 minutes and 40 seconds remain here, Connor. He's going to fire it out over to Kadowski. A little screen pass, and he's going to make his way up. Almost a first down.
16,
he stays in bounds. The clock will still go.
Kadowski, he's going to limp off the field.
Tackle made by number 13, Jaden
Coast to campus also coming off.
Gain of 7 on that.
Send out Hayden Alexander. Joe Reef comes out there. So some personnel switches. Jack Rosetnik seeing more time at the offensive line. 6'4", 275. He matches up against this defensive line a lot better. He's lined up against Roman Janik, the 5'10", 235-pound nose tackle.
That's a big fella, Connor. Duda's just going to keep this one up the middle, and I believe he got the tackle there.
26, Henry Duda on the carry for the Dukes.
That is, it was Janik and James
tackle
McAdams.
Made by number 7, Javion Smith.
5'9", 220. Defensive tackle as well.
Duda a gain of 3 on that play. Dukes will now
the big fellas working together to bring down the running back.
With the ball at the Edwardsville 43-yard line.
Duke's doing a great job kind of winding the clock down. They've already shaved off 2 minutes and 45 seconds so far this drive.
Here's the handoff to Connors. He's fighting for those sticks.
34, Jimmy Connors on the carry.
They're going to mark him and give him the first, and they will. Coast to campus will walk back on the field. They'll check Rosetnik out.
First and 10 Dukes.
Dukes are really moving these chains with
42-yard line.
A lot of momentum, too. Connor, you said they were going to burn the clock on this drive. They've already taken 2 minutes off.
3 minutes, 15 seconds in total this drive. 24-point lead. That's exactly what you need.
Here's a handoff up the middle, and great job of the offensive line pushing.
34, Jimmy Connors on the carry again for the Dukes.
Up the middle.
Tackle made by number 54.
Another positive
Roman
rush, and that will move the chains even more. So 2nd and 5 on the 37.
On that carry.
You know, Connor, York comes out with the win here. It's going to be very interesting, that match against Oswego. You know, talk about an undefeated team versus an 8-2 Dukes team. Probably one of the better games all season we'll see.
Oswego's got to close their game out against Wabanzi first. But chances are that'll happen. A couple of undefeated teams, one of them in the conference, Lyons Township.
Massel's going to fire way down the field. He's got Helm, and they're going to call a pass interference. So Helm draws the pass interference, and a great throw by Massel. That was on the money, Connor, and he took a hit on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, Helm was just getting his left arm grabbed by the defensive back, just kind of pulled back. Helm tried to make the athletic play and dive for it, but when you look at it again, Massel, no time. Sivreich was on a basically 2-on-1 with a linebacker they had sent in.
That 15-yard penalty will now give the Dukes a 1st and 10 at the Edwardsville.
Now Oswego leads Wabanzi Valley 6-0 as they head into the start of the second half. Low scoring affair.
Just like this one at halftime. It's a cold night, you know. Not a lot of points going to be scored tonight in most games, but if you can score while running the ball, as that's going to be a quick gain out of bounds. But, you know, on nights like this, Connor, there's not going to be a lot of points through the air. It's going to be, if you're going to want to score points on a cold night, it's going to be through the run. And York's done that all night. Otherwise, points are pretty hard to come by in the air, and especially like a night like tonight.
2nd and 7 with the ball at the Edwardsville 19-yard line.
I mean, 3 of York's touchdowns have come from running the ball.
As this is going to be another QB keeper for Massels. He's going to slide, and he gets hit at the end of the play. He does stay in bounds, so great jobs of that.
13,
but I believe there's going to be
on the play.
A illegal block.
Is a hold against York.
Hold against York. So that'll be a 2nd and 17 now. They go back to the QB run there once again, Connor.
2nd and 7 on the 19-yard line. They continue to just run the ball with authority. And the biggest thing for them is they're getting a lot of time. They're knocking a lot of time off the clock.
29-yard line.
They've nearly shaved off 6 minutes.
Here's a deep ball all the way back and batted away.
Massel's pass incomplete. Intended for number 17, Finton.
Helm is targeted once again on a long ball. There's going to be a flag. It's going to be
indication is a personal foul.
Personal foul against Edwardsville, roughing the passer. So another miscommunication penalty, Connor. One of those things that's unneeded.
That's just something that cannot happen, especially if you're trying to stop this offense and get the ball back. I mean, they've killed so much of the clock out. Massel's dropping back the throw. I mean, it's a good ball, but it's just great coverage by Gavin Pothast. Just tips it up and knocks it away.
Penalty, Dukes will take over.
But that flag just completely negates it, roughing the passer.
It's an automatic first down.
Yeah, it's an automatic first down as well. You're just helping them out. Simon Kadaski still at the trainer's table. Now has his pads off.
Means he's probably out for the ball game. No need to check him in at this point anyways.
Yeah, probably no reason. Just going to play things safe with the way the game's at.
Duda with that speed. Had a lot of room to run there, but he's going to get a nice gain. And talk about a free first down. They went from going for it on 4th and 20 or a punt situation to a 1st and goal situation. So
for Duda on that carry, Dukes will now have a 2nd and 4 inside.
We're heading over to the 6-minute mark, so we're about halfway done with the final quarter of the game. The Dukes are knocking on the door. 2nd and 4 inside the 10-yard line.
As here's a handoff, and Duda will be brought up by Espinoza, the 5-star from Iowa. He'll get another tackle there. This will give a decision for Coach Gelsomino and the offensive coordinator Mike Murphy here on 3rd and goal.
Now have a 3rd and 4.
On 3rd and 4 on the 8-yard line. Excuse me.
8-yard line.
I think you just run the ball and then kick.
Evan Gaughan will check in, excuse me, but Gaughan will check in here. They're going to bring him in for blocking. Jumbo package right behind the left side of the offensive line.
There you go, extra jumbo.
And there it is, that block. That's why he was blocking on the left sideline, and Connors has got the first down, now fighting for the end zone. But he is going to be coming up short, and that's going to move the chains. So 1st and goal, and another fantastic play call on 3rd and short. What do? You go to that jumbo package, that Penn State Nittany Lions package, Connor, which has been working all night on 3rd and short situations.
Well, the biggest thing is Connors is cutting away from the big defensive line, and he's really targeting the outside linebacker to come and chase him down. And Connors is so fast and athletic. It's really hard to do. But the biggest thing is you're cutting away from that line. You're cutting away from Jose Epinesa.
Massel in the pocket. It's going to go to Connors, and he's fighting for the end zone, but he's going to be brought up way short.
Jimmy Connors on the carry for the Dukes. Give the tackle to number 3, Clayton Licatos.
Clayton Licatos, the safety, comes in.
Dukes will now have a second
Jose Epinesa's story to Iowa
4-yard line.
It's a really cool one. His father, Epi, played football at Iowa in the 90s. His oldest brother, AJ, a current linebacker for the Buffalo Bills. I'm sorry, end for the Buffalo Bills, played football at Iowa. The middle brother, Eric, a walk-on linebacker at the University of Iowa currently. And Jose following in his family's footsteps.
Massel, the QB run, going for his 4th rushing touchdown on the night, trying to cut it outside. He'll walk in. Bruno Massel, his 5th of the night. 4 on the ground, 1 through the air. There's a flag on the play.
Looks like this one is going to get called.
Indication is a hold.
Yeah, this looks like this one's going to get called back. Yep, so it is against the Duke, so it'll bring them back. So the touchdown's negated. That being said, even if they don't walk away with the touchdown here, it's still a 24-point game, and there's only 3.5 minutes left in the game. Dukes did an excellent job. They got the ball with 11 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. It is now at 3:30. They've shaved off 8 minutes and 15 seconds. That's an 7 minutes and 15 seconds. That's an unreal amount of time.
Yeah, talking about
killing the clock.
Yeah, exceptional execution as Massel's going to hold on to it again. He just wants the ball every play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long. One of the situations you hadn't seen much of tonight, especially in the second half, as Edwardsville will spend their first time out here of the second half. So we're going to step aside for a short break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching York Sports Network. So 3rd and long here, Massel and company. Looking for his 4th touchdown. He's going to hand it off, though, to Connors as he's going to run all the way up. Still pushing.
34, Jimmy Connors.
He's going to bid about 8 or 9, and looks like Brennan Kennedy maybe to come out and kick the field goal, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they kept the offense on the field. And Jessel's going to keep the offense on the field. So it's going to be a
carry for Connors.
4th year and goal.
That'll now bring up a 4th and goal for the Dukes.
2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, Connor. You talked about how much time they've ran off, and boy, oh boy, have they done an amazing job of executing that situation.
They're going to keep the offense on the field. They're not going to run. I can't see them running a play. I think they're going to run the clock, wind the clock down, then call a timeout. Offense making, yeah, there we go. So they'll call a timeout. They'll probably kick the field goal.
That'll be their 2nd charge timeout.
There's 2 minutes, 25 seconds left on the clock.
I mean, the Dukes have came into the stadium, home field advantage. Last home game for not only York right now, but also us, Connor. Potentially our last stream here on York Sports Network as the football announcers. So we thank you guys for our ride over these past few years. Me and Connor both have a great time announcing these games. I mean, me and Connor both started around the same time, too, in YSN.
Yeah, it's just been great. And if this is the last one, the entire YSN crew thanks you for your continued support throughout this entire football season. It's been a fun one. Speaking of fun one, we got a fun game. 31-7. Dukes up by 24. 2.5 minutes. They're going to cruise into the 2nd round of the IHSA playoffs. Likely facing Oswego if they're able to hold on to their 6-0 lead against Waubonsie Valley.
Massel takes the snap, looking to throw. He's going to be brought pressure, but he escapes the pocket. Still looking for a man. Still on his feet. Now juking. Making his magic all the way down to the end zone. He's going to be in. Touchdown, Bruno Massel. Absolutely electric, looking like Kyler Murray. Running through the defense, making spin moves. Extending the play. He can do it all, Connor. That's his 4th running tonight. He's got 5 total. The MVP, if you will.
Talk about extending the play. And this is a guy that has only been sacked 3 times all year. So you know he can dance out of the pocket. Makes it a 37-7 game. Look at him there. He jukes past a defender, and he just barrels his way into the end zone. Able to shake off Landon Holmquist, the outside linebacker, and then just barrels it into the end zone.
And Kennedy's kick is
Kennedy's
no good.
extra point. Not going to go. Not going to matter.
2 minutes and 18
30-point lead for the Dukes. 2 minutes and 18
4th quarter. Your score: York
seconds.
37, Edwardsville 7.
Wow.
Once again,
37-7, Connor.
Touchdown
in a game where we thought it was going to come down to the wire. It was going to be low scoring as heck. It was just going to be an absolutely game that was going to come down to the last play. Just be very close. I thought Edwardsville had the upper hand here tonight. Dukes proved me wrong. They have just came out here and executed a perfect game plan. I don't think they've really made one humongous mistake all night. Bruno Massel is still perfect. Actually, he's missed 1 pass tonight. 4 on the ground, 1 in the air. Just an outstanding performance, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, they checked every box. The Dukes have checked every box in terms of what they needed to do to come away with a victory here. I said, you know, preparing for this game, you know, I was really just looking. I was really looking at the Dukes to kind of switch some things up with the offense. I said, you know, how will the offensive production differ than in the LT game and DGN game, because you're playing a team with a great defense. How are you going to switch it up? I said, would the Dukes be able to score early? And they did, but the real heavy fire didn't come till the 2nd half. And would the offensive line be able to provide adequate protection?
So an onside kick here once again, and that's
fielded by
I don't know how I feel about that, Connor. They went for it, almost got it, but you know what? 30 points in a kind of a blowout game. That's a little unsportsmanlike. Not sure if that needed to be done, but You know, it's been chippy on both sides tonight, so wouldn't say it's the worst thing, but.
I mean, I understand where they're coming from. You're up 30 points. If you get the ball back, might as well squib it so they can't. So you're at least getting a little bit of time off the clock. On top of that, if you're able to recover the ball, the game's over. You're going to run out the clock, and you're going to win the game.
Weaver sends a man in motion. He's going to fire way down the field, and he's got a man, but no, dropped right through his hands. Perfect throw by Weaver.
Intended for number 3, Clayton Lacados.
Coach Gelsomino not too happy with the secondary there.
Have a 2nd and 10 now.
Lacados got through pretty quickly, and he just was wide open. Weaver with some great touch, but it's just one of the rare times you're going to see it fall through his hands.
Yeah, Coach Gelsomino is yelling at Aiden Link, who is kind of slacking a little bit on that play. Link's had a great night with an interception, and you got to stay locked in if you're the Dukes. As Weaver looking to throw once again, trying to step up in the pocket, now extending the play. Now it's going to fire, and that's going to be out of bounds. So 3rd and long here,
6.
2 minutes remaining.
Patrick Chisholm, 37.
Patrick Chisholm, the intended receiver.
Edwardsville will now have
One thing Weaver has not done well tonight is throw on the run when he gets flushed out of the pocket. Granted, a lot of them have been throwaways, but when he has tried to get it downfield, it's usually kind of low to the ground and towards the sideline, just not the greatest accuracy on the run tonight.
Weaver looking to fire down the field, and he's got a man for the first down. Great connection there, and Weaver is going to move the chains. Patrick Chisholm makes the catch, and that'll
tackle made by number 36, Owen
run the clock down to a minute, 54 seconds, 1st and 10 in Duke's territory, looking to get some safety points here, making the score look a little better than it is right now.
Couldn't complete it to Chisholm on the previous play. Then there you see fires a strike. Great job by Yale Weaver.
Weaver takes the snap, looking down the field, surveys it, throws a lob, and he's got a man. 1st down. The Tigers move the chains once again. That's going to be caught by number 17, Gavin Pothast.
Good for another Edwardsville 1st down.
Edwardsville picks up another 1st down.
1st and 10 with the ball at the York.
Biggest thing to me tonight has just been the Dukes' execution on just about everything. Both sides of the ball. I think this is the first time all year that I don't think I can think of really any big mistakes that happened over the course of the game. There wasn't any big holes in this team tonight.
Weaver now flushed out of the pocket's got to use his feet, and Evan Gaughan's going to throw him out of bounds. Refs are going to say that he stayed in bounds. The clock will run as it's now at 50 seconds. And Edwardsville hustling to the line of scrimmage, trying to get some points. Not trying to go empty-handed in the 2nd half. You know, no points scored yet. Definitely want to get something on the board to end the season with a decent mentality.
At the York 12-yard line.
Weaver takes the snap, surveys the field, finds a wide open Moore, who's going to be brought down right away. Still 28 seconds left. The clock is still continuing to run.
Tackle made by number 3.
And Connor, talk about Bruno Massel. What a night for him. He's been amazing.
That's easily his best game, and I think people don't realize how important that game is for him, how important that game was for the running game, because it shows that even when you're running backs and Jimmy Connors and Henry Duda are not firing on all cylinders, you can count on your quarterback to establish the run game. That's the true identity of the offense. And the clock hits 0. The Dukes are going to walk away with the victory.
Yeah, Connor, what a convincing win. Right now, Oswego is up 14-0 at the end of the 3rd quarter and the start of the 4th. So the Dukes will most likely go on to play the number 5th ranked in-state Oswego team, who's playing very good football right now. We're going to shout out the crew for tonight. We got Shepard, Plamann, John Fiunucane, Jack Borchers, Griffin, Hanna. We got Luca DeSanto, Gabe Arriaga, Brian Blanchett, Ryan Brownlee, Griffin, Hanna, Jason Koleno, and Gabe Arriaga. Special thank you to all of you guys who tuned in tonight. What a game it was from Bruno Massel and the York Dukes. For the last time on York Football, signing off, I am Christian McQuade. It's been a great ride with York Football. This is it. This is a great game to go out on 37-7. And that'll wrap up our stream. York comes out on top with a nice win and advances to the next round of the playoffs. Thank you for all who tuned in. 37-7, your final from Clarence East Field. Have a good night and go Dukes.